Sinn Fein now are on track to become the largest party in Stormont, following incomplete election results.
Now, if correct, the party's success would represent a major shock to unionism and may allow Sinn Fein to nominate party leader Michelle O'Neill as First Minister.
So, could they actually call for a referendum on a united Ireland? Is that even on the horizon? Here to discuss the results, Dougie Beattie, GBNews' Northern Ireland reporter. Hello there, Dougie. I mean, that's the question everybody's asking this morning, is how close are we to a referendum that might actually, well, unite Ireland and really affect the Union of Great Britain?
Well, I mean, that is the biggest question on everybody's lips for about the last 2 weeks in Northern Ireland. If Sinn Fein manage to come back as the biggest party, they're due to come back with about 27, 28 seats. That's pretty much as you were. They left with 27 seats. The DUP may well nearly draw that. They've only lost one MLA here yesterday, and he was a former education minister that didn't perform that well during the pandemic. But the question of a border poll, it's a good one to have. 72% of the jobs in Northern Ireland are in the public sector. It receives $9 billion of a grant amongst about 1.6 million people. Another 8 or 9 billion in consequential. So about 18 billion off the British taxpayer. It has 9 major hospitals in Northern Ireland, but it has the longest waiting lists in the UK. So if you want to take that and say, OK, we're going to have a border poll, the problem that is every 7 years then under the Good Friday Agreement they're allowed to ask for another border poll. So you have to ask at that point, will the British government build new hospitals, build roads, build infrastructure in Northern Ireland that it may well give away within 7 years? You have also got to look at businesses and say, well, will they invest? And it may take up to 15 years getting your money back out of a business, or because of the protocol and being held inside the EU and everything that goes with it of being caught inside Britain, the ECJ, the divergence problems, would they be better just putting their money into the Republic of Ireland? And then, of course, we have a real problem in Northern Ireland with what's called ETAs, expected time of arrivals. We used to have a common travel area between Britain and the Republic of Ireland. When we were all in the EU, it wasn't a problem. When we're all out of the EU, it wasn't a problem. But now Ireland is in it and Northern Ireland's not. They are starting, Britain is looking at this saying, hold on a minute, there are people that are being caught in Britain and then coming back through Dublin, back up in through Belfast, getting the ferry cross and back into Britain again. So within the next year you could well end up with British citizens in Northern Ireland having to show British passports to get into Britain. So the whole point of a border poll, once it's actually set in place once, then you start to look at that happening, and it's the investment problems that come. But I think when we are looking now, at Stormont as it goes, I don't think that there will be a government here for quite a while, because the unionists are still coming back to this point that they collapsed it in the first place for, was the protocol. They don't agree with the protocol because of issues in and around consent, and they are not going to go back in when the protocol exists. So I think we're in a stalemate situation, and we're exactly where we were when we left. The only points to watch in all this was the Alliance Party. And the Alliance Party are a middle ground party, and they have gained ground. They started with 8 seats. It's more than likely they'll return with 16 seats. And they have took them out of the Liberal SDLP and the Ulster Unionist Party. So both those parties are now disappearing in that middle ground. So it is all to play for here, but at the same time, what government are they going back to? And I think the problems that Brandon Lewis had, he mentioned about, he had brought Jeffrey Donaldson had said that there was something happening in the Queen's speech. Of course, Jeffrey's the leader of the DUP. And then the night before the polls, Brandon Lewis goes on national television and says that is not the case. So there is now a credibility problem between Westminster and the DUP. They will not move forward in the government now without actually seeing action, not being promised action.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.